Throughout its history, life has faced five mass extinction events, catastrophic moments where the normal speed of life and death was thrown into chaos. The most famous, the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction, the event that wiped out the non-avian dinosaurs. But mass extinctions aren't just history. They happen when the natural background extinction rate, the slow and steady process of species disappearing and new ones emerging, suddenly accelerates. Not 2 times faster, not 10 times faster, but hundreds or even thousands of times faster than normal. When that happens, it's called a mass extinction. To understand why a mass extinction event happens, let's first look back at history. At the 5 times life on Earth was nearly wiped out. The first mass extinction event is the Ordovician Silurian extinction, which happened around 443 million years ago, was triggered by a sudden global cooling. Massive glaciers formed, sea levels dropped, and nearly 85% of marine species disappeared. The second mass extinction event is the late Devonian extinction, about 370 million years ago, was slower and stretched over millions of years, likely caused by ocean anoxia, where seas lost their oxygen, choking out marine life. The third, the deadliest one yet, the Permian Triassic extinction, around 252 million years ago. Over 90% of all species vanished. Massive volcanic eruptions in Siberia unleashed deadly gases, leading to runaway climate change, acid rain, and ocean acidification. The fourth is the Triassic Jurassic extinction, about 201 million years ago, cleared the stage for the age of dinosaurs. It was driven by yet another burst of volcanic activity, causing global warming, habitat loss, and ecosystem collapse. And the fifth, the one we know best, the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event, happened around 66 million years ago. An asteroid struck Earth with the force of billion atomic bombs, igniting fires, blocking out the sun, collapsing food chains, and ending the reign of dinosaurs. And today, those same deadly patterns are happening again. But this time, it's not volcanoes or asteroids, it's human activity in the form of relentless global warming fueled by CO2 emissions, in the clearing of rainforests, the lungs of our planet, for short term gain, in the degradation of land, turning once thriving ecosystems into barren deserts, in the pollution of our rivers and oceans, choking life with chemicals and plastic, in the reckless overuse of fresh water, draining the very veins of the earth, in the creation of ocean dead zones, vast areas so depleted of oxygen that almost no life can survive, in the making of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is filled with plastic that breaks down into microplastic, making it hard for marine life to survive and decimating the food chain. And at the center of it all, one industry silently drives so much of this destruction: animal agriculture. It occupies nearly 30% of Earth's ice-free land surface, making it the single largest human use of land on the planet. Grazing livestock alone takes up 26% of that land, while an additional 33% of croplands are dedicated to growing feed for these animals. Despite this massive land use, meat and dairy only provide 18% of global calories and 37% of protein. The livestock sector is responsible for approximately 14% of all global greenhouse gas emissions, comparable to the emissions from all transportation combined. It consumes about one-third of all freshwater resources, contributing to water scarcity worldwide. Runoff from factory farms leads to ocean dead zones, vast areas devoid of life due to oxygen depletion. In the Amazon, up to 91% of deforestation is linked to clearing land for cattle grazing and seed crops. The expansion of livestock farming leads to habitat destruction, pushing countless species towards extinction and accelerating biodiversity loss. Animal agriculture is not just a contributor to the crisis, it is a primary driver. It pollutes the land, air, and water, consumes our natural resources with devastating inefficiency. It destroys the lungs of our planet and homes of countless species, and it pushes the climate ever closer to irreversible tipping points. All for a system that feeds only a fraction of the world, while leaving a trail of extinction in its wake. and the scale of damaging is staggering. But here's the truth. We are serious about halting the six mass extinction. If we truly want to protect our forests, the rivers, the oceans, the atmosphere, and the life that depends on them, we must address animal agriculture. And there is a solution, one that each of us can take part in, starting today. In 2018, the most comprehensive study ever conducted comparing farming and the environment was published in the journal Science, led by researchers Joseph Poor from the University of Oxford. The study analyzed data from nearly 38,700 farms in 119 countries, and the conclusion was clear. Avoiding meat daily is the single biggest way to reduce your impact on planet Earth. Not one of the ways, the way. Because shifting away from animal products, we can drastically cut greenhouse gas emissions, free up vast amounts of land to rewild and restore ecosystems, save trillions of liters of fresh waters, and give species, including ourselves, a fighting chance. Choosing a plant based lifestyle isn't just a personal choice, it's a profound act of resistance against extinction, a stand for life. A vote for a future where thriving ecosystems and rich biodiversity are possible once again. The sixth mass extinction isn't set in stone. It's not too late to change the ending. And while the environmental impact alone is enough reason, the benefits of going vegan don't end there. It's because it's not just the planet we're saving, it's life. Every year, billions of animals are bred into existence, only to suffer in factory farms, live in cramped, filthy conditions, and ultimately face violent deaths. All for foods we don't need to survive. By choosing a plant based lifestyle, we reject this cycle of cruelty. We recognize that animals are not commodities. They are sentient beings, capable of joy, fear, love, and suffering. We refuse to participate in a system that treats living beings as machines, that turns birth into a business, that transforms mothers and babies into products. Ethically, going vegan is a declaration that lives matter, that suffering matters, that compassion doesn't end with our own species. It's about aligning our actions with the values most of us already hold: kindness, fairness, and respect for life. Because when we expand our circle of care beyond dogs and cats, beyond humans, to include cows, pigs, chickens, and all other beings who can suffer, we create a world that is not only more sustainable, but more just. A world where empathy is stronger than habit, where compassion is stronger than convenience, and where life, in all its form, has the right to thrive.